And oh yeah, that shot the pings right up through the roof, sort of. Oh no, we actually do have pings I can sort of play in. Checkpoint, blah 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 blah. What that now? What that now? Is anyone playing a server? I'm not gonna have like a ping for the fucking roof. You know what? I might have to quit, but we'll see. Because yeah, we'll see. Let's save my actual your channel. I need to check this. As I've used the same name, it all might just get a wee bit confused on the YouTube front because their little bots are going, oh, that doesn't make sense. Where's this guy saying we got the same name? Yeah, we're all good. We're up. Yeah, my phone's going a little bit mental. Technology. I've got like a not an EMP head at the moment. Well, some kind of weird voodoo kind of malark's going on with me. Observer advantage.
We got Alpha.
What for? We've got mildly bad ping. We might be able to play with this. Keyword might. Hate when I have ping symbols in the corner. At least it's not red, which, yeah. You engage somebody and then you can't hit them and then it all goes totally bloody wrong. I'll sort my kit out once I know we're all sorted and dandy. Yeah, right. Ping's pinging about all over the place. Right, we're going to wander in here. We're going up here. That's my ping still yet again going, wait! I really do not enjoy the infrastructure of the internet in the UK. It's not very good. You'd think it'd be good, but my experience is no, it rains, the internet stops working, it's too sunny, it stops working. Virgin Media or Sky or whoever you're with decides that they're going to do a lot of maintenance on the networks because they're so stable and they need to be. Please die. Am I not around yet? Let the ping the. Yeah, that would help if I saw him then. Right on the leg spike. Why is it that I get engaged and then the ping goes through the roof? Like, you know, it's all good, that's all good, then it's all good. You start talking smack about Virgin Media and your internet goes to pop. Are they the ones like watching this stream? They're like, don't say anything bad about internet. Then provide a good, decent service. Then I won't be calling smack about your Virgin Media. No, I generally cannot play when the ping keeps doing that. Why is it pinging so bad? Nah. I had this issue last time I was doing this and I just ended up having to leave because it's like you want to play with people and it's like nope. So just local play. I'll throw a random server on. What was that one? Summit. What's this Summit? Play with the AI. Why not? Because you know, internet. It's way good. Yay. I might as well just do videos to be honest and then edit them and then do a little bit of editing and make them look good. And it's like, I don't do editing. I can do editing, I just don't like editing. Hobby Commander. We'll go with G46, yeah. Plastic gun. Plastic person, plastic gun, eh? Way.
Alright, get your shit.
Because I was trying to work out how you did stuff on this and then it all went terribly wrong because I was trying to look up how I actually changed. Oh.
Come on then.
Alright, it's O then.
Check your weapons.
All that problem where my computer blew up and I had to actually had to hard fucking reset it there. No, for the fuck. I didn't have to press a button, thank God, but I had to forcibly reset it to close the game and why all that fun my jobs. Just because I didn't know I needed to press O, even though I did press O and the computer was like, nah. And I shouldn't have a lag now because I'm in basically a game with just AI. This is all my computer's doing. I believe in you, AI. I believe in you. Anyway, let's wander through here. Let me wander through here. So that's the worst thing. You start doing live streaming, and it's like yeah, and then you get like your computer just decides it wants to take a complete not so much your computer, not your system, the internet, or you have technical issues. And then somewhere you don't really want to do like, oh, noises.
Get the cover, they're firing hostiles on the Alpha.
I'll take a finger there. Oh, dudes. Okay, I mean, that was some seriously bad shooting on my behalf. This door now shut. Now reload the rifle again, so we can use big bullets. Big manly bullets, as they say. I know you're out there. Did you just want to run into a gun finally? Bugger sakes, Jesus crikey. Come on AI, I believe in you. I believe the AI can fix its own bollocks. No, it won't.
Let's do it.
Yep. It's never a good sign when the AI are left to be responsible to clear an error. Oh, gleaming good. Oh, gleaming good, I say.
Fuck.
Yeah. Oh, how I love you, AI. How I love you and your bollocks. What did they have? They had an MP7. Nice. M24 saw. So the problem when you play with AI is you don't really get... This is the problem with this game in general. You don't really get a feel of playing a role or a responsible part of it. And you possibly could if you're playing with the right people in the right situation and with the... You know, blah, 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 blah. Basically, you choose to play the game playing it that way, but
Yeah, let's get into some
it
shit.
generally doesn't play that way. That's kind of if you really want to play it that way, like, alright, you're going to do support fire, you're doing the marksman role, you get in position and you cover us while we move. You can do all that and be like, Mr. Anal, Mr. Anal. But generally speaking, you do get a little bit of, you can be just like, I'm going to charge in like John Rambo, hey, like the AI do it. You know, it would be quite cool if you could have bots and be able to control them on this to actually do roles and stuff like that. But then you're just adding stuff into the game, which... If only I could shoot. If only I could shoot. But I can't. Clearly. Oh, you're alive. You were playing dead. Nice one, Compton. But no. The game. It's not that the game doesn't play well. The game does have its fun and its play, but unless you're playing against players, it gets very boring after a while. And then when you are playing against players, some of the maps promote because of the play being so quick on this game. It's like, I'm a sniper. Look at me. I'm over in deathmatch. Way, look, you're dead again. Oh, you're dead again. Oh, you're dead again. Because they're just camping, and the maps aren't designed for that kind of high speed move around, shoot move. It's more rewarding to camp and not do much. Got a few holes in them. Lovely debbly. That. I was banned up, but I was like, where the hell am I getting shot from here, game? I'm literally trying to open my phone up so I can make sure if anything goes up in chat I can see what goes on, and I'm like, this ain't good. But no, it's just a bit of a shame I can't play online because the internet's just decided it doesn't want to work properly. If I'm it's working enough to stream, I can upload, I just can't download. It's like you have one choice. You can only upload, you can't download. You could argue I'm doing both at the same time, and it's like, oh, you're stretching your internet too far. Am I really? It's like 10 gigs. It's, why is it taking more than 10 gigs to play online? It should take about a gig. and then to stream it should be quite intensive. But even then, it's like it's a
Incendiary
compressed
out.
video and audio file, which it depends on how you set it up and how you do it. I did shoot at him. We all saw that I shot at him. He just did not want to die. And unfortunately, I did die. Let's go with Captain American guns. Old school. Have we not? Oh, that's the old one. I don't want the old one. I want the newer one. The Israel on it and all that malarks. Give me the red dot. That's what I need. Should I have a smoke launcher on it? No, because it's not right. Oh, grip. Yeah, why not? Because if it was actually only an M16, I'd probably put a 45 on it and be like, yay! I'm just like, I like to have Gucci shit on my gun. Because, you know, I don't think the gun's been designed to have the best ergonomics or the best things designed for me. And that's why Riz was kind of put on guns so you can make changes to the ergonomics to suit the shooter so you can control it. Because foregrips do help with recoil on full auto, but they're not particularly the most helpful in semi-automatic shots sometimes because of the weight at times. But hey ho, you know, you've got like your AK tourists so like no, it's so good. Wood grip, that's all you needed. It's the only thing you need. It doesn't matter if it's not comfortable to shoot, as long as it shoots it's good. It's like, yeah, but if I've got a choice, I want to make it as comfortable and as easy to handle and manage in my hands as possible. And you might be saying, well, what's the advantage of that? Ergonomics, man, ergonomics, which might seem like an odd idea, but if you're basically able to manipulate and hold a weapon, reload it quicker against the guy who isn't able to reload quicker or isn't able to get on target as quick or isn't able to put more consistent, more accurate, consistent fire, it does kind of make a difference in the real world firefight situations. And you can argue all day and say, well, does it really matter if you train somebody and they're going to be good enough to they're not really, it doesn't really make that big of a difference in the overall scheme of things. Most shooters aren't going to be on like a competitive level where they need to be like these minor differences are going to make that big of a difference to justify the cost. True. What are you doing, AI? What are you doing? Stop it. But I'd argue that, you know, I'm not really using a firearm because I'm replicating the military. This is for like airsoft, so it makes some sense of where the madness is coming from. But also in computer games, it doesn't make a massive difference because ergonomics in computer games doesn't really make a massive difference in computer world, because in computer world a G3, like let's say I use this, throw a fucking red dot on it because there's something wrong with me, I'll put that on it. Yeah, just do that. You might be going, what do you mean something wrong with you? You just don't do that. Yeah, put some mic on a laser. In real life, this G3, if I was going to come around clearing this corner like that, look, no issue. I can go in as tight as I want. If I really want to get in tight like this, I can just flick my barrel up. It's realistic in real life would be non impossible to practically do easily. You'd be doing a wider berth, exposing yourself in a bit more of an unnecessary manner. That's why sidearms and submachine guns rule the CQB world. I know people say, well, you can use a rifle like the carbine M4s, the shot barrels. Yeah, they're good. You've got higher caliber, it penetrates better, brilliantly, fine. But you've had to change the formula of an M4. Had to already be, an M16 was the first model. Then they went, these things are a bit too long to get out of vehicles. Yeah, they're accurate. What if we just shorten the barrel a bit? Yeah, that's good. Went to Afghanistan and went, shit, these things have got a shit range. These fuckers are shooting at us with AKs and are hitting us, and we can't hit them back because they're using a heavier caliber and have a slightly longer barrel. So these minor differences, mainly the caliber, made a big difference. They had better range than us. Didn't really have an issue with the M16s. Definitely didn't really have an issue. The M16s that would have, they really wouldn't have had an issue with the AUG, what you call it, the SA8A and any other bullpup, because they all had the fucking length of an M16 barrel unless they shorten them. And even then when they shorten them, it's like they're still dramatically quite fucking long.
Everyone, hey, what's your status? I'm off.
But no. It's always one of those kind of silly things. Where, you know, it's one of the things most games don't get right, and when they do get it right, it's really annoying more than it is practical. Because the payoff with a G3 like this, you might be going, what's the payoff? Well, I've got better range, I've got more stopping power, I can put people down, like so. So I don't get the advantage at close quarters, but I get the advantage at like longer ranges and the amount of rounds I'm putting on people. You don't really get that feel on games, because in fairness I could use this and it feels no different to the MP5 in the way it shoots, because the recoil is mitigated on this a little bit. You don't get the recoil on the MP5, to be fair, it's a bit unfair, but it's a good fucking example because you've kind of got the 9mm variant of a G3 basically. It's just a modified G3 to take some machine gun rounds. But if you look at that and then compare it to this, in a game you don't really get the different advantages of both platforms. Where are you going? Stop it. You don't really get the feel, the difference in the two. You kind of... It's more cosmetic than it is anything, because it's all just statistical numbers, isn't it? This gun does this amount of damage, that gun does that amount of damage, and that's about it. Where real life there's a little bit more going on than just, oh, this does this amount of damage, this does, you know, blah blah blah. It's more like, well, this gun has this fucking recoil, this gun has these situations for selectors and this caliber of rounds that it weighs this much. There's a lot more to consider because, you know, an MP5 uses 9mm rounds. How light are those in comparison to like what basically is, it's not 7.62 but it's near enough 7.62 in the G3, which are like way more heavier rounds, way more bigger chunkier rounds. Oh, sugars. You know, and that does make a bit of a difference. It makes a difference to your load out, your equipment, how much rounds you carry. Because a 9mm, it's a machine gun, you're not going to feel particularly bad about using it on full auto as much as you would do with a rifle, because the recoil is more manageable. But you've not got the same put down power. But the put down power isn't, you know, oh well, I need this big gun to shoot this person to kill them. It's like, not really, you know. If you look at big game guns and then you look at rifle rounds and then you look at, let's say, ooh, I got lucky then. And then you look at, let's say,
Call for a helo. Minigun support at this location. Dig in. We gotta hold it.
yeah, that'll make my life a little easier.
You guys on incoming, incoming.
Should make my life a little easier.
This is Cleric. I'm on location.
It's just something what's never really come across in games very well. I'm not kind of like, well, but realism. Realistically, what you're not gonna get realism to that 8th degree in games. It's you just ain't. That's you're getting to the point where practical you're talking about things which are too beyond the scopes of game logic. So, like for example, you got like games where you get realism and all that, like Armour and stuff, where yeah, you're still using the base model. Kind of every character's got the same base stamina, the same base physical fucking ability, blah blah blah. And you have to, you can't not do that because yeah, there's guys in there. I know the guys.
One down. Taking fire. We're taking fire.
I'm not taking fire, but come in. I've got to play with it. Why did you scream like a lunatic?
Cleric out.
Why is there so much smoke here as well? Are you camping, me little swine?
Over there.
Still fine on bullets. We're still fine on bullets. I want that thing. No, that's not what I wanted. I wanted that. Thank you. But even then, you've still got the base stamina. Then you in armor, pretty much the range of choice of guns is kind of limited in some ways because they're going with realistic, where realistically choice doesn't exist in like military. It does with mercenaries, and you might get it with special forces where they get a choice of guns. But for General Joe, Mr. fucking Bill Blogs, I'm going out and shooting some folks, going to go and shoot some bad fucking people. They get given a gun by the army, and that's that. You know, that's your rifle. That's what you're going to use. The variation might be you could get qualified as a DMR, a marksman. You might get a chance of using a DMR. Probably not, because you're like in the British Army, they'll train maybe 20 guys and only one rifle between 20 marksmen. So, and getting optics and stuff like that, it's common. You know, squad kind of shows that as a good example where, yeah, if you want to be this, you can try to get the opportunity to do it, but damn, you're generally talking about it. Shut up!
Where the fuck are you?
Get to me, observer! Get to me! Get to me! And I get killed, observer. Why could you not get to me, observer? Just jump up. I throw pebbles with the call in mortars on this spot, you ass.
Go!
I've got the 74. Yeah, we got 74. Let's use that. But no, that's a good example. But even then, as a state the same as armor, you've got them limitations. You can't assume that, oh well, you get different strengths, different staminas, different heights. Because if you start doing that, then having to give people a choice on that, then you have to see what standard gamers do, which is look for the optimal way of playing the game.
Observer! Fuck! That's down! Unmove! Call for explosive artillery on this position! This is observer! I need a gun run on this position! And a machine!
I'll see which one we get. Danger close airstrike. This should be entertaining. We're about to take out a friendly probably. That might look. We've got at least one or two of that. Jolly good, jolly good, jolly God says. If my guy puts my back in his gun. But no, then you kind of get into kind of that argument for. I've been watching what you call it.
Securing now.
A gentleman, and he's a big, basically Halo fan, and he's talking about the old Halo games, which were arena shooters. And the whole point of arena shooter was based on limited mobility, opportunity to get weapons, knowledge of the map, and that's it.
Explosive artillery. This target. Station. Fire explosive rounds at this location. Over.
Observer, this is station. Roger that. Keep your heads down.
How the put a little time on sweet.
Fuck! Man down! I'm on injured.
That's a good idea when you hear that. Got that in there. But it was going on about the. That's the not ours. Do that little time. That's a nice little new feature they've added in since last time I played it. Yeah, he ain't moving no more.
Gunship over here. We're gonna need it. Trying to take it.
They're calling smoke mortars. They called explosive mortars in.
Observer, this is Assassin. We're on location and moving into position.
Oh, now we're talking. They're coming in.
Beautiful patch on them. Please kill him, observer, because I'm running out of bullets. Oh! Well, that was a bad time for me, wasn't it? But no, he was going on about that, and it's all about like how they changed, because I've never been a massive Halo fan, and then how they've changed from like the traditional kind of arena shooters to more kind of let's put sprint in it and do what Call of Duty did, and that kind of promoting mobility. You know, let's make it so you can sprint, make it so you can do this and that. How the way he was saying was kind of like, well, it's kind of an interesting argument, which was about kind of the balance of it all. Did he get rackled again, or did he just like buggered off to do his own little thing? Get back here, you Looney Tunes.
Call for explosive artillery on this position. Station. This is observer. On this target. You got it.
Engine close mortars. Which was a really good watch. His argument they done, because everything had to be, all the original game mechanics had to be changed to meet basically the requirements. They changed the whole fucking form of the game, and it just felt like, well, any other fucking shooter out there, just with a Halo fucking skin on it. And to be honest, that's kind of true for a lot of platforms, a lot of games. Is it? They tried out like certain mechanics or certain like certain balancing, certain attributes of the game mechanics, you could argue, or balance in the game, or basically a much more kind of, this works, this does this, and this is what people want. No, this is what a large amount of people want. That's not what everyone wants. And you know, and I'm completely rambling, not putting my thoughts into fucking focus, but it was quite an interesting one, because it was kind of the same way like Call of Duty affected the Battlefield series, and kind of, I wouldn't say ruined it, I would say more accurately negatively affected it in a non-positive mannerism. Just throw them down there. Which was that it turned. Oh, struggles. Pull my headphones out. I pulled them out. I pulled them out because the cables are under my legs. What's the ping at? What's the lowest ping? That's my lowest ping. Yeah. Should we try playing with in Builder Server? Checkout point XP. Yeah, you know what? I might regret this, but let's try. Let's see what happens. Oh, it's a night map. Oh, I've instantaneously regret. But that was the same with Bad Company, because Bad Company always had like the tanks and shit, and they fucked the balance up. And I get kind of what they were doing. They were trying to stir the pot. The thing is, it's all good when you stir the pot up. If let's say you're producing a game once every couple of years, which the Bad Company series did do, but the problem was the old get, because the way, especially I came from console playing. Okay, can I not? I'm not even allowed to play unless there's more players in. Oh, that's no fun. That's no fun. But that's what happened with that series. You know, you could turn around and say, well, let's have a look. Players. 100 players in, the lowest ping there then is like 180. 2 players there, PowerPoint, checkpoint, 230. That one's 180. Yeah, you know what? We'll try it. See how long I'll last before I get annoyed with it. and I go, no, I can't do this. Ping's too high again. I can't play. But no, it's one of those, isn't it? Really, it's kind of like sometimes they steer it the right way, sometimes they don't steer it the right way, and unfortunately, more often than not. More often than not, it's not always done the right way, and it always seems to go terribly bloody wrong. Holographic, 2 times holographic, 4 grip. Okay, I can go everywhere, but my ping's that. I've got red ping here, and I'm not even in the game. Let's just call it there and then. Yeah, let's leave game. I want to play, but that ping is just. I don't know why my internet's so appalling. I really don't. I really wish it wasn't so bad, but I'm just having no live. So that map I played, it's a nightmare. Lots of corners. I don't enjoy having to mess with it. We'll go on that one. That was the map we just were on. But no, they kind of fudged the balance, and it's kind of like they never addressed it. They never kind of went, maybe we should change the balance, because the maps didn't work very well on Battlefield 4 in regard to Commander. Let's go again, Commander. Yeah, here we go. I said it shall be
Get
both.
ready!
Getting rather confused there. But no, it was always one of those kind of games where.
All right, let's move. They need us. Come on.
It was always a little bit of a kind of a pain in a sense with the Bad Company series for that. And the new, I did play a bit of the not the new one, but the one prior to the new one, the last World War II. It was fun and all, but I have a habit of playing the games to the point where I get sick of them and I hate the fucking game and I just say, oh, it's fucking bad, that's bullshit. Because I enjoy playing a new game because, you know, learning new mechanics, my brain's given something to chew on, and it gets to have something new to chew on. And I can't help myself and go, ooh, it's new, I get new XPs, new rewardings and all the rest of it. Ooh, look, I get this weapon, I get this reward. You know, keep you kind of hooked to go, I want to have a go at that weapon, I want to have a go at this weapon, I want to do this, I want to do that. That's kind of the model a lot of older games went with, which was reward, replay, which I'm as bad as a support gunner then. It's not good of me. Which AI.
Got it. Anyone hit?
Strike, and I want that on the bridge.
Observer, hey!
By the time the observer actually gets here, we'll go with that. Come on, observer.
Yo, get me the radio.
Observer. Observer. Where are you, observer?
Hit that position, light those fuckers up. This is observer. Get warlock to strafe this
You kind of get
position
into
over.
the realms of.
Oh,
this guy's nice. Basically, just that addiction to reward, play, and you kind of look at the free-to-play games. They do that via making you grind and then selling you boots. Not the modern 21st, the modern fucking game you're getting to play nowadays. No kills confirmed, lovely dabbly. Oh, noises. He's dead now.
Okay, I'm out of here. Bye. We're locked out.
See, Insurgency doesn't do that. They don't hold guns back. What they do is they hold kit, cosmetic stuff back. I do hate that they've released pay fucking equipment when you've already paid for the fucking game and then gone, you know what, we're gonna bollocks. Make it so certain equipment can only be bought rather than bought with points. I might be wrong with that, but I'm pretty fucking confident in that, and that kind of annoys me in the sense that
They're just ahead.
you've already paid for this game. Why is that like additional DLC? Oh well, if you want this cosmetic look, you have to pay for it, and it's like, well, yeah, it's not the worst DLC and all the rest of it, but you basically took content out of a mechanic of the game, which is the reward system, and purposely made something what's the only way if you want that reward you have to find that to hand over cash, which to me is a bit like fair enough. Are you trying to keep servers going, or you're using it to invest in furthering development of the game, which they have done. They put night maps in, they put new content in, so I can't complain in that sense. Like, they're not charging you to literally add actual value to the game and content and the enjoyment of playing the game. But still, I'm a little bit salty because it's you're basically taking stuff what is. Oh, I'm not having my luck today. I'm getting my house wiped up around. Da 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 da. Put the compensator on, put the red dot on. No, that's not the Russian one. No.
Observer, this is station. You have fire support available to you when you want. Let the commander know.
I don't realize that they're Browning. That's a new one. You actually get more rounds in the Browning than you do the 9mm Beretta in some ways. Another dot. What's with the? I know I don't get rid of dot. You just didn't want to put it on my gun. For enough game developers. It just makes me a little bit salty because you're taking something out of the game what I'd love to have, and it's like by charging me, you're basically saying, well, it's in the game, but we're not going to give it you because the game is an online game. It's not a semi-single player game. But I paid 20 quid for it, so it's like I've already paid your money, so it's not a free-to-play game. But at the same time, you're updating the game and continues providing content to it. But at the same time, it's what is going on with my guy's eyes? Is that my? Hopefully, that's not my screen, not my TV monitor. If it is, I am seriously in the need of a new monitor.
Yeah, we're securing Bravo.
This time I'm shooting an AK-74, an AK-47. I love it, but it's still than the 74. A bit more recoil, but mainly with 4.62, yeah, it's not got a better armor penetrating, but...
Get Warlock to strike this target! Station, this is Observer requesting a gun run at this target. You got it?
Observer, this is station. Copy. Stand by for
Bravo
order.
secured! Clear!
Inbound going on. Get clear.
Hopefully I got a few of them anyway. Yeah, got a few of them. No, it's always one of those. I'm not a big fan of a lot of the AAA games coming out nowadays. It's like people go, oh look, you can't come out with it's like I've not really been blown away. The Samurai game does look quite good what's come out, but even then that's I'm just a bit like
Shit, they're at Bravo!
no, oh, it always feels like you
Shit, they're at Bravo!
you kind of lost some of the magic which kind of came with Battlefield 3 and the Call of Duty Modern Warfare 1 and 2 and arguably the third one. And I don't know, maybe it's just me and my kind of like, oh, I wish I was him again. But it does really much feel like most modern games. And imagine like the WoW guys, like the guys who love playing WoW when it was like, oh, they fell off the roof. Observer, get your arse over to me, lad. Observer.
Need an observer, come to me!
Observer. Observer, I've told you to come here and you're not come here. You have disobeyed me. I am not really happy
Hit
with
that
being...
position, light those fuckers up!
Oh,
Station, this
shit.
is Observer requesting this target.
I thought I hit the button behind it, so I'll just recall that in just to make sure I hit the right side this time. The open leaf sights. I'm still not in my target. I don't know how I'm missing these shots when I'm pretty much bob on him. Whoopsies, I just shoot up the gunner and I still missed the target. My bad. I thought I would have actually got it, but I got the angle wrong, and for some reason it really was off fucking target. And with the airstrike, it was like way not where I wanted it. But hey ho, that's fair enough. Apparently I did get it. Don't know how. The game really kind of made that not much sense. Maybe it's something nearby lit it on fire and it chain reaction like some domino effect. But it's just one of those. It just nothing really gets that kind of same feel to it. And it's you can get the Dark Souls games, but I never really had like the money to buy them when they first came out. And it was like, yeah, they do look good. Oh, Dark Souls new one. I'm like, oh, I played the first one to fucking hell and back. And I just never, and I'm always a bit like, with Nakash, I'm always like, maybe I'm just a glutton for fucking playing games and not really that game, and just kind of wish, it's like Counter-Strike. Counter-Strike's still played to hell and back nowadays, and I've never really played Counter-Strike. But you kind of get like Rainbow Six. I do play that, but it's got one of the most fucking toxic fucking play base I've ever played with, and it kind of really put me off it, as well as the imbalances in the game. It was like, oh, we've got a new character, we need to sell the new character, so we need to make every other character weaker and nerf them and imbalance the game. And then when you're going online playing with people, you get the people who just play it way too much, and it's like, oh, you're not as good as me. Yeah, no, I'm not going to be as good as you. I don't play this religiously. I'm playing this as like to enjoy my time, and I do play fucking games an awful lot. I'm not going to sit here and say I don't play games an awful lot. I do. I play this probably more than most normal people do play games, but I don't play to kind of to the point where it is literally a job. I'm not, you know, I'm not searching fucking up tactics of how to play this game all over. It's like no. It's not about just like an airstrike with my comrades. Observer. Yeah, they all came out there like fucking rats out of a wall. Get that down. But no, it's just one of the most toxic player bases I've ever fucking played on. I'm just like, nope, don't want to play that. Because it's one of the things I do like on PC, which you don't really see in consoles anymore, with private chat rooms and all that. You get you get certain games on PC, and it is all about fucking communication and talking. And no, you've not got Discord, because party chat and stuff like that doesn't really work on PC the same way it would do on a console, because if you have that alt tab out of a game just to open Discord, certain games do have a hissy fit about that. They really do not like you to do that. I thought I shot him, but I heard it shoot, but I clearly missed. I really want to mix this up with, actually no, I'll play with that. I'll not play with that for ages. I always think this is like the bullpup G36 in a lot of ways. In a lot of ways I do. Actually an M4 would be quite nice. No, I'll go with this, it's 556. Put a, no, red dot, and we want a foregrip on it. I like having the drum mag on it as well, but we're not getting that on. But no, it's one of those. It just, I don't get that same kind of feel like you used to in a lot of the games. That kind of community play style feel to them, and you just don't, it just doesn't feel that way with many games. Maybe I'm just looking in the wrong way and looking at the wrong games. It's like I play a lot of Guns of Icarus, and that I do enjoy the hell out of, but I just stopped playing it because it was just like, I got very addicted to it, so I was like, right, stop playing it, and then I don't play it because I know I'm addictive playing personality. Well, I will play that every night, and I will play it repetitively, and it gets to thinking. But they made changes to the game I didn't like. It was like, oh right, we're getting rid of the servers, we're getting rid of this aspect of the game, which to me was kind of ruined it in a lot of ways. It's like, well, you get to play with random people, and it's like, Yeah, but the advantage of server was you were playing with the same people over and over, and you got to get to know them and talk to them, build kind of a feel to the room and the feel to the players, and then you turned it into this kind of, well, who's next? Who's next? Oh, next match. And I get you kind of want to keep the rotation, keep fresh players fighting against one another, but at the same time, sometimes you don't. If people are getting fed up of the match and like getting fed up of playing against each other and all the rest of it, then go and find a new server, go and find a new match, and or make it so that is both an option for both players, and then see what players want to do. Did he want selective matches, or did he want to just have quick fire matches? This game does it, and I personally just jump in a quick match rather than find a server, but that's because I'm never really playing it in that sense of I want to have a I want to have that kind of match where I'm with the same people all the time. But with a game like Squad, that is a server-based game. You couldn't make that just a drop player and server, because the game skill level is like, whoa, do you know all the comms commands? Do you understand the mapping? Do you understand tanks? Do you understand these roles? Do you understand how to play these roles? And do you understand this, that, and the other? And it just gets to a point where there is actual private servers on there just to teach people how to fly helis or teach them shit, because that's part of the game. It's, you know, there is that much to the game, which, yeah, you need to know what the hell you're doing in the game, and you can't just be expected to drop in and learn it. I'm going to be a marksman, and then you steal a marksman class and you don't know how to play it correctly, and then people are getting annoyed and frustrated because you're not using it correctly. Vice versa, you go a heavy tanker destroyer because you want an RPG and you start using it on soft targets, people are going to get annoyed because you're like, well, we need to take our armor out, we need to do this, we need to do that. So it's one of those games which, yeah, you do need to serve with the same people, so people get a reputation and get an understanding and experience of playing with certain people, get an experience of working with people and know what each other is doing. Because you throw people in with random people in that game, you're not going to get far very quickly, because a lot of people are not going to get the feel of like what people are doing and understand what the hell is going on and the communication and stuff. You know, you can shout at people all you want on a fucking microphone, it's not going to make them do what you want to do, they'll just mute you, end up. Because you do get some anal bastards in that, and I do take the piss out of them sometimes, and I'm in a bit of a fucking, my horns are showing, and I'm a bit like, alright, let's have a giggle with you, because you're just a little bit too up your own ass. You think the fucking, oh fuck, I had a bit of momentary panic. Come on.
Hey, bring me the radio!
But no, it is one of those. Oh, he's fucking nice. Alright, that's been calling that one a little hobby bird once that's done. Yeah, you stay put, man, maybe. I need you to stay put and stop looking fucking spesh. Spesh.
Gunship coming, stay clear!
Don't. You look like you're gonna lick a fucking window pane. Don't tell me you just got rackled. Don't get rackled. Yeah, I missed, he missed. Both missed that. But no, it is one of those games which, you know, you need those servers. It depends on what you're looking for. It's like when you get games that are more focused on communication and talk, you're usually better off with a server than you are with just a, oh, jump in and play the game, don't think about it, it's not about teamwork. Because that's part of fucking teamwork, is staying with the same group of people, getting to know how to work with one another, communicate with one another, grow up with one another. You just turn into kind of, oh, you just run first and you're here to do the same thing, I'm here to, oh, try to win the match. Or not going to really talk, and then it's kind of like, I'm just going to do my thing, you do your thing.
Delo's going down!
What?
Alcatraz!
But no, it is one of... Please kill him, please kill him. It is one of those things, if you're not working, it's alright when you work, you know, you change teams up with people on every team, and because you're still with the same kind of people. You're all getting a kind of the feel of the situation, the room, the people, and the way they work and the way they play. So you adapt and change. That's the whole fucking point. Where if let's say you're just being randomly thrown in for, I'm going over myself repetitively. I'm getting to the fucking point even when I'm bombing myself to death. Oh, hey, brain having a bit of a brain fart moment. I have a habit of doing that at the moment. I don't know if I had a bipod thing in. I wonder why I couldn't afford anything else for the gun because I'm. Yep. I don't want to lose it at this point. But knowing me, I'll probably balls it up or say. Oh, thank God the game spawns in here.
We're gonna need cleric. Tell them to send a helo. Station, this is Observer. We need minigun support at this location. Casualty! No! Should have stayed home.
Jolly good, jolly good, jolly good. I'll say jolly good.
Everyone, hey!
Keep the comments up.
Observer, this is Cleric. We're here. You ready for some brass?
Yeah, pretty much. Because there's no point continuing that much because that is a waste of my time. Let's see if we can find a server which doesn't have a ping rate which is appalling again. That's how I giggle. I do get way often going on here a little bit too often, but I am curious if there is a server with not a ping what is through the roof where I can actually play. I don't know this server let us play. It might be like, yo, you can't play unless there's other people in the server, but I'm hoping if I jump in a server, people don't jump in the server with me. And then we can at least get it all kind of going. Let's go with Visor, because I kind of want to play with, that'll probably be, what do I want to go with that? Go with that, that's probably better. It's got the heavy hitting rounds, and we'll go with holograph at 2 times, 4 grip. Jesus, I've got a lot of points. Suppressor, and that's it. We want that, and I've got pretty much everything I need on me. Yeah, giving me a quite a lot of additional points, aren't they? Let's see how long this lasts before my network server connection goes to pop. I'm literally in a server on my Todd, but I am in a server. That is the key thing here, boys and girls. We are in a server. If we can get through a match on this server, I'll try joining another random server. Hopefully, boys and girls, we can actually play with human beings. I know it's a scary idea of playing with actual players online with actual functioning fucking brains. It's a certain level of functioning brain power. It is kind of concerning nowadays, the level of intelligence of the human race. I'm not making this easy, that's for sure. Should have really gone marksman. There's a bit of delay on my shots. Jesus, in my ping. Oh, yeah, ping gone from okay, we can play to okay, we cannot play again. What is going on with my internet? I want to know what's going on with my internet. My internet's not very good. My internet's really bad. We'll do one more run of a certain map or something, and then I'll call it there because I'm actually not. It's not I'm not enjoying it. I am just getting a little bit on the bored side of playing against AI, and I kind of want to play against human beings and have a little bit of a challenge not based on BS. Let's just annoy him by like doing shit which stuff's a bit on the kind of like which one got that? Was it the Breach who got the Vis? Yes. Oh yes. Yeah, some new guns in this. You have that as well, which is the Hogfire, which is like, meh. I'd rather have. Oh yes, the 60 Vis. I think this gun's actually bombed in under some laws. And not so much the gun itself, but the bullets it was using. The Russians made a bullet and it took them like a ridiculous amount of time, and the Vis was kind of the byproduct of it. because they made the boat and then they were like, well, we need a gun to shoot this bullet, and then it was like the world all went, no, you're not allowed to use that bullet. Why? Because it's inhumane. It's like, no, it ain't, you bastards. It was like, it's like, yeah, it's a 9mm. Yeah, it's but with a lot more powder behind it and a little bit more beastier because it's kind of a 9mm steroids. Yeah, it's like a 9mm saw 45 feet. Oh, bloody hell. Yeah, it doesn't have a lot of stopping power in this game, and quite annoyingly, I just got my ass wrecked. I need to be on full auto with it. I keep forgetting full auto. I'm just spraying with that thing. You can't be like, oh, take my time, single shot, not full auto. I'm spraying pray 'em. No, it's like the 9mm turn up in the 45, and he's like, whoa, look at my muscles on well hard. And the 9mm went, oh, I'm going away. And then when he came back, it was like, yeah, don't fuck with me. But like, yeah, 45. Yeah, you fuck your lad. Yeah, I was invented to basically, you know, off the mad Russians designing around because they didn't want to use. He invented the AKUE, but the AKUE didn't have the stopping power, so they kind of made. Yeah, I'm using a 45 C2 fucking American pistol with a valve. It's wrong. It's wrong. I don't think they've actually got a modern Russian pistol in this. That's what they're using.
No, damn it! You
I shoot at them, but they don't die. I don't know what to do. It's kind of concerning. My bullets don't really work. Good one. Give me that. Extended mags. No, we're not having extended mags. You can get a foregrip on it, which is can't. We'll leave the foregrip though. We will change to full on like silly. No, we're not going that sort. That's too far silly. Yeah, that's a Russian pistol. You can tell when they're Russian. It's kind of obvious, unfortunately. You know, don't really want the laser on it. Yeah, that's fine. It's like, look, let's watch him source his equipment out rather than play the game. Because, yay, that's fun and entertaining, isn't it, boys and girls? It's not. Oh, I didn't realise. Extending mags. Can I actually get, how much did the foregrip? Alright, so I just need to get rid of that quickly. You're dead. That ain't good. Oh, he's dead as well. We're halfway through the magazine on my gun, which is jolly bloody good. Okay, I'm shooting you in the head, so please die when I put a round in your skull. This thing does have enough penetration to go through bones, same way a 2-2 has. Shoot you with a 2-2 in real life, it's enough to kill you. You might not believe that, but it is. It does have enough force to shoot to penetrate skin. It's not enough to kind of like, if I shoot you in the arm, you're gonna fall over and die from it. You know. Why did you do that, AI? But it's definitely enough of a shoot in the chest, doesn't it? The rib cage. You might have a penetration in your lung and cause bleed in the lung, or penetrate the heart and cause some serious problems with 2-2. But I'm trying to hit. Oh, take shots at me now.
They're over here!
I love that this gun shoots people in the skull and it just doesn't kill them. It's like the game developers just like nerf this gun to hell. And I get it's not going supersonic rounds, the subsonic rounds, which have some reasonable range because of the amount of powder behind them. So they have a really heavy arc, but still, this thing was like, you know, is meant to be somewhat very capable. And for fuck's sake, the MP5 can kill a guy in one shot. So why can't my little, like, basically steroid 9mm MP5 monstrosity sniper variant not be like the same? Oh, come on. not having much love in my boy. Come on, AI, please. Why are you not on the objective, AI? Why am I even asking why you're not on the objective? Sometimes, AI, you do worry me. You do worry me how poorly stupid the objective priority is. Especially when it can like near enough insta-kill you and do shit what's just evil to you as a player, but when it comes to actually aiding you, it's like no. Give me that. Yeah, it looks daft with the foreground up on this, but it's like, well, we don't have it on, the recoil's too unmanageable for some reasonable longer press ball thing. Maybe it is in real life, maybe it's got a shit ton of recoil, but still. Isn't it on semi-online? And it gets like, well, you're meant to be taking accurate and calm shots. Last time I checked, that you know, I'm a little bit in a situation where that ain't an option, boys and girls. About 7 rounds.
Look! You want to run away? Back!
Yep. I did shoot him. You did all see that. I did shoot him. You've been defeated twice now. Game's like, haha, victory is ours. It's like, you bastards. Bastards. Oh, react. Shouldn't be fucking tired, maybe I am.
Okay, alright, let's get ready.
Seeing an airsoft one of these, and I am just like, I want it, and I'm like, you don't need it, and you've got plenty of other guns, you're still working on guns, you need to finish them off first. And I'm like, my brain's just going, buy it, have it for the upgrade, it'd be awesome, it'll turn off, and you'd be like, why, you can have a dim on. And I'm just like, yeah, no, just no, just no, no brain, no. We don't need this. We don't need more of this in my life. It's not that. It's not fun. Not jolly good fun to own the thing, but it's one of those. It's like that dolphin thing in your head. Where you're like, oh, that'd be cool to own, and then you buy it, and then you're like, yay, got something, reward, and then it just like. You're then looking for your next Doberman fix, you're looking for your next reward, your next fucking like, yay, I've got that, I feel way good because of it. And
Nice one, we got Alpha!
you know, it never fucking ends, the idioticness of it all. It's not like suddenly you're gonna get like, you know, you're gonna feel... I might be dead in a minute. Grenade, that was a grenade. He was a bad throw. Oh yeah, it's actually calling in support, thank God. Fortunately, they call in support as well, I'm dead. Thursday I doing their job and covering it and actually playing up to form. They're not actually doing an awful lot, it's mainly me, which is sad. Even by that time I'm still playing ball. If you look at the you can't see the kill ratio, the victory level point, yeah. The kills they're getting mainly on my arse, it's like, what? A lot of shooting going on, not a lot of hitting, but when it comes to hitting me, they are very accurate. We'll give this one more go and I'm going to call it though for this, because I can tell I'm not really talking too much now, mate. I did a little bit on the last stream before it all my computer went boom, but it was a little bit too heavy of a subject matter to me be happy to kind of post it. What the hell? Fat soldier, ain't you? Hey, you fat lad. Yeah, that's not really surprising, because that's shit they do. Fucking Yanks. Okay, I'm a big man, I'm gonna tear shit and go on the floor because I've got a gun, it could be anywhere. It's like, yeah, mate, I get it, you're in high stressful situations, a lot of people want to fucking kill you. But at the same time, there's no harm
Working on Alpha!
in just generally being a little bit more kind of down to earth and aware that not everyone's gonna fucking try to kill you. Not everyone's out there to fucking. I'm not saying not everyone out there. Everyone's out there to fuck you over and stab you in the back. No, that is the case. But they're not planning on doing that with an AK rifle in the back of your head and all the rest of it. No, they're not looking like they like you. Probably because you keep coming and you are being very aggressive, very much a threat. Remember, you are the invading force. You are not a native force there. It's like the British were treated kind of decently before, basically when the English popped up big time, and that kind of really caused a lot of problems. Because it resolved problems, it didn't make problems worse, it made problems better. It's somewhere, you know, you didn't somewhere have yeah, rocket barrage, I might be dead in a minute. This is not a good sign of being in a rocket barrage. Being near it's never killing me. Yep, knew that was going to happen. It's like their AI are able to sit there and survive that. We're in it and we're just getting hammered. It's like, well, you know, well, it's just in that corner, that section. It's like, yeah, get lost, game developers. That's why I hate this map in some ways, because that first fucking point is such a bastard. After that point, it's just easy. You can run through the map, but until then, it's just like this. But this point, nope. That seems to be the best way to set that up, is to kind of use it as a marksman rifle kind of thing. Just take your time and take your shots a little bit more detailed. So yeah.
Let's go. I killed them all myself.
But no, it's one of those kind of things. It's like you're an invading force. Don't be surprised if people don't want you on the streets with guns. You're not many people in the world. Yeah, but you're running across my line. Shut up from somewhere else. Then that wasn't there. Oh, that goes. Shoot more of them, kill more of them, shoot. But no, what you call it? The thing is like, well, I've got to go over here. As they say, as Einstein said, it's insane to keep doing the same thing and expecting different outcomes. Other than that, oh, he's dead. Should really put a laser on us, so it might help a little bit for CQB corner clearance. And change the optic out to maybe a 2 times. What might be what I'll do. But no, it's one of those. It's you know, if you're going to be in another country and you're walking down the street with guns, people aren't going to be your best friends, and aren't going to be going, yeah, we really want to be friends with you. You seem like a really fucking nice person. No, they're going to look at you and go, well, you aren't very nice. You aren't very fucking friendly. You are very much not those things. And in turn, we don't really want you in our country. We don't want to deal with a bunch of Z died. Oh. That'll be a yes then. I'll put that up for me. Oh, we're gonna have to wait a minute. See while that guy gets cooked alive. Ow! I think I killed myself in my own door. That's yeah. Oh no! I lit myself on fire. Apparently I'm made of like asbestos or something, which is really flammable. I opened it with like instantly lit on fire, but I don't mind because I've got to change my gun up a bit. That looks quite sweet. But no, it's one of those kind of like things where aggression equals aggression, but the problem is aggression is sometimes a necessary evil, because if you don't show aggression, people don't see you as a threat, and if they don't see you as a threat, then you get walked on or taken advantage of. So it's kind of a catch-21, a catch. Basically, you can't really win either way. You be aggressive, then the people who aren't, you know, particularly your enemies, are then being hostile to you because they treat you as if you are a threat, because you're behaving. Jesus Christ! It went out of its way to try to kill me then.
We destroyed Bravo! Nice!
They will treat you as a threat because you are, in a sense, a threat. You're a threat to. I don't know how he's the only one who survived then. Oh well, we can't get sight of him because somebody lobbed the smoke grenade. Probably one of the AI on my own fucking team. Because they're like, well, we'll put the smoke down, soft cover, you can move. And I'm like, yeah, you can move, but I had a line of sight. I could shoot the bastards. I was shooting the bastards, letting them the fuck up.
Moving! Moving! Observer, I need you!
RPG!
Oh, we are ammo-wise. No, it's one of those things though, at the end of the day. It's kind of like, I don't think war will ever disappear in fucking the way of the human being race. As long as there's something to fight over and there's some reason to fight, people will fight. It's the nature of it. Ooh. The nature of, well, nature in a sense. You might go, well, nature doesn't have wars, wolves don't fly planes. No, they don't fly planes, but they do have fights over territory, and they will. If a bunch of wolves did have a communal link up the same way humans did,
Charlie's
and a
clear!
pack that big and a group of them all kind of came together and had the same mentality humans did, over a bit of land they were defending, yeah, they would have a war. You would have a bunch of fucking two big giant packs of going at one another trying to kill one another to take dominance over the land if forced into a situation like that. The reason why you don't really see that is it's like they do have their scuffs, they do have their fights, but generally it's not productive in both parties to have bloodshed. It's, you know, it's not particularly efficient, so neither part really wants to wipe each other out. They have a scuff, they see who's most likely going to win that scuff, and then if they're going to lose, they're not going to continue fighting because of the way up the chances of survival of a fight they probably might not win, to finding an alternative opportunity, and the other party ain't going to be interested in taking wounds or injuries if that might result in them furtherly weakening themselves down the line. You know, it's the choice to do otherwise would mainly be come from a byproduct of, we're going to do this because the answer is ultimately that's the better solution. You're an idiot AI, so I'll do that for now. Yeah, you do see it a bit with apes, because apes have smaller territory areas and they will fight for the land and the territory. Yeah, just went for a full mag and then he had me reloading and went but no, you don't really see it as often with animals in the nature because it's not productive, it's not efficient. You could argue that makes them more intelligent. You could argue that's, you know, they don't, because they don't see the bigger picture in the same sense. You know, there's many of an argument there, but it's kind of like you've got to work for the logic, some form of logic to kind of understand why, if you had two packs of wolves, why don't they just...
What do you want from me, huh?
To kind of counter recoil this thing best I can. It's not something I normally do when I'm shooting, is counter recoil, just basically let the recoil do its thing and then basically make a particular fireball. The recoil on this is so insane.
I am loading!
Yeah, put a foreguard up on that, get rid of the tactical laser, put a foreguard up on the lighter. Yeah, we'll just get rid of that, get the motor off, and then put the foreguard up on that, because hell yeah, we need something we can manage the recoil a little bit better. But no, it's
Losing echo!
what it is. I find nature creatures are more or less kind of, you still get the arsehole with them. For fuck's sake, pigs are evil bastards, they really are. And so are dolphins and all sorts of other species. People don't realise how much of a bastard these animals are. They think, oh, look at the dolphin, yeah. Watch what happens when you're not an alpha in a pack of dolphins and see what they do to you.
Piece of shit!
Yeah, horrifically horrible. Same as ducks and all the rest of it. You start learning into animal behaviour, you're like, oh no, they're not nice, cute little, oh, look at that, how cute are you? No, you turn around and go, wait a minute, that's horrifically horrible. You cruel, horrible creature. Yeah, no thank you. Let's get in here and get in here before it comes out of time. That's kind of the sad thing of it all. It's kind of like, well, realistically, in nature, nature isn't all about kind sweetness and bunny rabbits. It's more like, you know, bunny rabbit needs to find another rabbit and mate as quickly as possible to make lots of other rabbits. So when the fox eventually does catch it up and eat it, it's at least have some offspring and it's had some opportunity to present the opportunity for it to continue its genetic line. It's the fight to fucking survive. It's not trying to survive through basically killing off any predators and all the rest of it. The human race is kind of the evidence of a perfect creature what can do that. It survives off both plant and living flesh. It kills all its other predators out and then eats them and consumes them, not to waste it, and then in turn is able to sustain itself on plant life and stuff like that without having to require the constant.
Ah, crap!
Half of my glove. Right. Shot him twice in the upper shoulder and chest. I was like, I've had enough of the vest. I like the gun, but it just does not have the stopping power. Let's be all honest about that. You know what? Let's have a giggle, run the shotgun for a little bit, and then yeah. But no, that's the unfortunate fact. It's life competes to survive. But what's it competing to survive in the sense of? Is it trying to compete to survive for sakes of? Is it competing to survive because it's, you know, wanting to for the sake of just surviving, or is it surviving because, you know, that's the nature of life, is to attempt to survive. It's, you know, it's hardwired into it in a sense that it must try to survive. Please die when I kill you. Or is there something else at play there? Is it that nature itself isn't wired to survive in that way? It's trying to produce a fucking result which can only come from a fucking competition mentality of survival. You know, humans are just a byproduct of that kind of model. Which you'd argue then, if that was the case, why isn't there more intelligent creatures? There were. You had Homo sapiens, you had all the other fucking species of, like, humanoids who kind of got wiped out by humans. We kind of went out of our way and wiped them off the fucking face of the earth.
Got it.
It was none of this fucking kindness of, like, well, you know, let's just, you know, let's just, 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 let's we've got to reserve them, we'll keep them around. He's like, haha, I've good shot you. But we've got to a point where, in a sense, we're kind of getting back to that point. We're getting to the point where there's that many human beings on Earth that there's going to be a lot of fucking mutations. There's going to start being like different potential variations on human evolution, and you might go, well, what do you mean? Well, there's not going to be a rapid fucking change on evolution in some ways, because you're not going to see some massive changes in the human thingy, but you've got like athletes with like weird like enlarged hearts and stuff like that, which are mutations, but they're not, you know, they're not in this type of survival. Nature doesn't suddenly do consistent mutations. It's kind of the one what breeds most popular is most likely to have that mutation occur more commonly. It becomes a more common mutation, you know. Yeah. It's a bit weird with mutations because there's two factors that cause. You can have rapid mutation, which is caused through a situation where mass extinction starts to occur, like the species are getting wiped out because of some natural disaster, disease, predator. So the ones that are surviving, which are mutating quickly and having these rapid change in evolution, like let's say who the fastest man on Earth, he can outrun it, so he can then breed. So he's more likely to have offspring, because these offspring are able to fucking outrun because they've took on his ability to run really quickly. Suddenly, all the fucking, and then suddenly all these humans, they all look very similar because only a small minority of them are surviving because of that fact. And that's why, because the option of survival is someone's gone from a wide range of possible options what can survive to a minority of them can survive. But at the same time, minor alterations are minor fucking evolutionary changes which do make minor changes, which do extend the possibility of breeding, increase the probable outcome that might happen. Yes, they're not rapid changes, because rapid change is usually a byproduct of aggressive environmental fucking changes, and rapid environmental changes, which is called rapid requirements of change in evolution. The human race from like 100 years old to now is probably a lot different than what it was, what it currently is from. Yeah, you don't fight on bullshitters and so. I'm fireproof, man. I'm fireproof, man.
Bro, watch out! Step back! Incendiary out!
Last bang, take care of your ears. Reload my gun again. But nah, it's kind of evolution itself is quite an interesting subject matter, because it's not straightforward. It's not like, well, you know, Frank grew up and he had an extra arm, and suddenly everyone wanted to be, you know, everyone else suddenly started having extra arms. No, that's not kind of, evolution doesn't work that way, lads. It's not like a mutation, what happens in one is going to happen in all of them, and it's not going to be consistent across the board. No, because mutations are down to changes in genetics, and it's not even genetics what make a massive difference. It's the things what read DNA what make a big difference, because if they activate or they mutate, big fucking changes happen. That's telling what the cell's actually doing. That's the thing what's saying what's going on. It's not the bit what's, you know, it's not the words, it's deciding what them words are going to be, and decides the order of those words, and then hey presto, there you go, you've grown a third fucking arm because that bit of genetic structure's been written. Any number of fucking weird and wonderful mutations can happen because of that, and that in itself is just like, what? Those mutations can happen throughout a lifetime of a creature's life. It's not dictated when it's being developed or being made. That's not the case. A lot of the time it's more dictated by the biggest changes you usually see through metamorphosis that of points of growth or development. So once the creature gets older, the likelihood of mutation is a lot lower. But at the same time, that's what cancer is. It's a mutation. It's a error of settle. And yeah, it's not cool. It's very much not the case. Let's give it one more try. Might as well just join a normal quick server and see how bad it goes. But if that's the case scenario, and that is what you are looking at, it's kind of problematic in the sense that mutations in the human race is really weird, because we're not super old as a species goes, but our mutations have been... I can see why people argue and say, oh, evolution doesn't exist, look, I've not mutated, I've not changed, I've not thinking. Well, you've not needed to. The environment hasn't. Yeah, the internet's still going hello. Customized local play. I've done some more, we've done that as well. I'm just picking ones that I haven't done. But how long's this actual stream been going? Let me have a look. How long's the actual server? How long have we actually been streaming for? Because I'm sitting here and adding to myself, going a bit nutty. Oh, 1 hour and 30 minutes. Alright, I'll play for. Just did teach more. Oh yeah, we'll have a giggle from that. Gee, put the bipod away, please. Put the bipod away. Put the bipod away.
Alright, get your shit!
Yeah. But no, that's one of the things with mutations. I can see why people argue against it. It's fucking bollocks. It's evolution does fucking exist, and I have seen people go from intelligent, sane thinking people to, well, people who don't believe this shit, and you're kind of like, yeah, if you get fed shit, you'll basically start thinking the shit, and you kind of need to understand that the internet ain't all knowing. You need to kind of listen to the right fucking mouthpiece and the right fucking area of logic, and start using your own sense of understanding and observations to kind of understand that. And I can understand why people say evolution doesn't work, because, oh look, I don't see, why are we not evolved, why are we not changed, why are these things not changed? Yeah, you see evolution in dogs, you see evolution in... Ow. You see evolution in nature, we see it throughout things, you know, evolution isn't always big grand changes. Sometimes it's minor changes, sometimes it's just minor changes, like in the human brain, for fuck's sake. How complex do you think that thing is? You know, and how many minor mutations do you think happens in that? How many minor mutations do you think happen throughout the internal organs of your body, you know, and all those, you know what? Leave the bipod out, it doesn't really make a difference. In real life, it'd annoy the hell out of me. I'd be actually holding probably by the bipod. But no, it's one of those things where I might play Kill and Floor next time I do a live stream and see how badly it works there. There's so many minor observations, and secondly, evolution doesn't really reward. It rewards. Evolution only doesn't really honor or reward anything. It only it has a slightly shorter barrel. Oh yes. Holographic. I have an M24, so I've got Galil for now. I've actually got 5 left for E. But no, it's one of those kind of things where evolution is, it's taught to people for a reason. It does exist. It's gone through the fucking scientific principles. It has been proven multiple fucking times to exist. Unfortunately, it's not taught very well, and it's taught very poorly, which is why people believe it doesn't fucking exist. Because unfortunately, the way they teach evolution isn't very brightly done, because you've got to dumb it down for people who are learning. You can't explain to teach
Take it, Bravo!
evolution and at the same time teach flip the fucking table or just shoot him in the fucking arm because he can still hold that fucking rifle, that support gun up with it while it's had 2 rounds for it, which would have broke his fucking bones to dust. Yeah, fuck off, game. It would have shattered his bone in his arm, his arm would have gone dead and he wouldn't have had the ability to lift the trigger arm. But whatever, game. You do you, Bo. This is why I hate this map. Lots of fucking tight corners. Takes a while to clear it if you really want to go in. On the game can just spawn fuckers in behind you, so even if you clear an area, they just turn up behind you. But no, a lot of shit you get taught in school is really poorly taught, and it's done. It's done to make it as simple as possible so you can understand it, but not complex enough to actually understand it. Because to understand it, you need to kind of see it on a different level. You need to kind of see all the information, and even then a lot of that information is still being studied, still being researched to a certain degree, because like genetics are still mapping out the genome, basically the genetic structure of the human being. Yes, we know these are the chemical boundaries, but there's slight alterations in different people. Then at the same time they can shift and move around, which is one thing you don't fucking realise. Genetics, you think you can actually move around. They do it in plants. They found that out by watching plants to mutate. Part of the fucking mutation in plants is they actually move the genetics around, and human beings can do that. Most creatures on Earth can do it. It's just not super common to happen all the time, so you don't see it the same, and in turn you don't see it because it's not something what can be observed very easily. It's observed a bit easier in plants because you can keep checking, and the structure's a little bit more simpler, and pattern, you can see the pattern a bit more commonly. It makes it a bit easier to see this stuff. But if you tell somebody about that, who's a young kid who's trying to understand evolution and trying to understand these shit, you start muddying the water, and yeah, it gets a bit too much, it gets a little bit too confusing, and you don't want to confuse kids, and you don't want to confuse them. I also live in a country where the intentionally make you fucking stupider. They don't want to make you smart, they want to make you stupider. They don't want to teach you the actual fucking information, because that isn't beneficial. Ow. Did shoot him. Alright, I'm fed up of 5.56. Can I have something a little bit more beastier? Marksman, let's run the Dragon off. Oh yeah, fuck it, let's run the DMR. Run the Dragon off, maybe, if this doesn't work out very well. It's not actually going up, is it? Beep, 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 beep. I'm just keeping a track of the time how long we've streamed for, because I've actually streamed probably about an hour earlier with the other one when it went all cocks up and went, nah, not gonna work. But I understand, like, you know, you can't teach kids to a certain degree every bit of information, but at the same time it always feels like they teach it at the wrong end of the scale. They always seem to teach the wrong fucking stuff. Or I know my memory is shite. It really is. I've got really shite memory. Whoa, Jesus. And I honestly admit that I have got bad memory. I have got a bad memory for this stuff. I don't recover information very easily. I don't store it as efficiently as possible as other people do. It's one of the downsides of my brain. My brain is not particularly brilliant at that type of thing. Not that it can't work this stuff out quite well and rip the information apart. It has its own weird and wonderful fucking ways to work. I find it quite fucking fascinatingly weird in all the ways it works. But it's at the same time, it's my brain. I have to deal with it. That's my life. I can't just take my brain out and put a new brain in a jar and put that one in my head and, you know, hey presto. My brain works differently. At the same time, I can't go and see a mechanic to go and fix some of the neurons and make new nerve patterns to make certain parts of my brain work better. So yeah, I sure am. Yeah, I want to take that ACOG off real quick. So we're gonna go holographic red dot, and we wanted the foreground. We're gonna take the suppressor off because the fucking suppressor's not necessary. Click that. change that out to get rid of the quick release, put the incendiary on because, yep. Oh, still my gun out, game. What's that all about? I'm going for it in. Sam says, what's this? What? But, nah, it's quite interesting because, end of the day, this is one of the things that's really fascinating when you do all this kind of research, is the research people, but you've got to think the human race is like billions of fucking people on this earth, and you know, they've got an idea how many people there is. They could be wrong with that. There's some people aren't on record as people who are living like completely off the grid, like old ancient fucking tribes who have been living for fucking hundreds of years, who are having kids and then dying off, and you know, they can get a rough estimate there, but there's a level of error there which has to be accepted because practically it's impossible not to have a layer of error, a level of error in regard to that. Yeah, so, but in any number of those people, you could have a mutation, you could have a change. You know, somebody could argue that, you know, learning difficulties, oh, your brain doesn't work this way, that means there's something wrong with you, you're negative, it's a negative thing. Yeah, it is in some ways, but at the same time, a sociopath can be both a highly functioning member of the highly functioning person, or can be a highly unfunctioning person who can't fucking deal with the world. It very much depends on that mutation of how he works, and yet there's quite a few of them about, you know. That's the way they fucking work. The human race is kind of a weird fucking mush of
Alpha
secured. Thank God we're not defending it. A weird mush of just mix of lots of variables of that same ingredient. And you've got variants just based on where they live, and that shows differences. But even then, it's kind of like, it's like when they looking into kind of inherent traits. It's like, well, yeah, there's certain inheritable traits and then there's certain uninheritable traits, and that does make a difference. And then you've got people who adapted because international travel's become such a much more common factor that, yeah, now, you know, you could be living in America and suddenly I want to move to Sweden and have a wife and children there. So something in the melting pot of America, and you're, well, byproduct of being in that melting pot of mass migration of people, and then moving to another place where the mass migration of people isn't as common, and you're then mixing in with that melting pot. The human race is really fucking in a out record is in a really weird place in that regard. It's, you know, it's not kind of like a stable fucking ingredient and this is what humans are and there'll never be anything else and never be anything. Flip sakes, you know, there's that many variables. Well, like a pack of fucking M&Ms is, you know, you start mixing these M&Ms together, you're going to get weird and wonderful byproduct tastes. You're going to keep getting these weird and wonderful things. The only difference is there's not a big fucking hungry person eating us, and they're reducing the amount of M&Ms, so the not nice tasting M&Ms are the ones left over, and that's the ones what continue thinking. The human race is able to continue its ever-growing thing, and we're ever-growing, intending to reduce the likelihood of us having situations what reducing us dying. You know, that's kind of a consistent thing we are particularly all working at, is reducing the likelihood of us dying. You know, health and safety, for example, the ever-improving of industrialisation. You know, industrialisation, you could argue, is, oh well, that doesn't produce safer working. No, it produces more optimal production of things. So like food or clothing or things what keep us alive are now being produced at a much higher consistent rate. Now we've become consumptive to the point of industrialisation, when the industrialisation what we're doing is negatively affecting our environment and negatively eventually affecting us, which is ultimately leading to our own destruction. which is kind of hilariously stupid of a human race to do, but it's, you know, a byproduct of a species which yet can think but doesn't think very fucking far ahead of beyond the fucking point of its own idiocies of realising that they're not a fucking hive mind, they're a fucking separate entity. And, oh bollocks. We're all separate entities trying to survive, and we want our own offspring to fucking survive. No, the idea of lizard people, tinfoil hat. There's some fucking truth in that. There is a truth to it, because there is a divide in society, there is divides in people, there is divides in culture, and it's been proven. You're going to look after your own kin, your own brother and sister, your own blood, before you look after somebody who isn't. Unless you've been trained to think otherwise. That's nature talking about it. So what happens when you start talking about power, the influence of, let's say, controlling the hive of fucking humans? Let's say kings and queens, they breed with themselves, they breed with their own kin, they breed with their own several things. Ow, get lost, you cheeky swine. They're putting their bets on their own family line, their own genetic line. So in a sense, they're becoming their own species through inbreeding. You know, inbreeding's not a good thing, but they're intentionally trying to, in theory, if they had a mutation, they could potentially make a new species of human, the royal human. Kings, we are a pure breed of king, and that makes us, you know, we have an extra fucking finger, which means we're kings, and that's a mutation that proves that we're better by, you know, blah 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 blah. It's usually negative because you get too much inbreeding, it becomes problematic, it causes more problems than it resolves, which is really fucking weird when you think about cellular behaviour. When it basically replicates itself, it literally breeds with itself to make another cell. It splits itself, but yet the introduction of too much of the same genetics, it causes issues. It's kind of like, well, wouldn't that just be like cloning yourself, like cloning a mini version of yourself, like mini Jamie, and you know, stuff like that. It's yeah, no, that's not how it works. Where are you? You're out. You're shooting at me. You're shooting at me from many angles. You stop shooting at me. You stop shooting at me. You don't join in now. You dead. You did. But no, that could eventually happen, couldn't it? Really. Bill Gates just breeds with Bill Gatesians, and suddenly there's a new species of Bill Gatesians, and it's like, what do you mean Bill Gatesians? Basically, you have a species of just Bill Gates only breeds with certain people in his family tree, and then oh bollocks! That was beautiful. I love it. I love it. I love it. But now he selects people, and then for the next 100 years, he selects only certain people. Certain people from a certain bloodline are allowed to breed, and then they eventually come out. And at the end of it, at the end of the 100 generations, we're having 100 years, so we have 100 generations. The humans he's produced from this selective breeding, selective process. See, that's the big problem with the human race, is you can't really do that kind of selective breeding very easily, because the main problem is a human being's lifetime. You have 20 years, and you could say 14 years, till a human being comes to a sexual level where it can actually reproduce. So it takes you 14 years to wait for a human being to get to that level, and yet for a human being to be at a level of intellect to do such a thing, you'd probably need to be about, even if you spent 14 years and you hardcore fucking educated this person to just do this job, even then it's kind of like, you'd probably be better off saying maybe 20 years. Let's give them an optimal 20 years. So a 20-year-old who's been given the job from some evil fucking corporation or evil government or evil entity has said, well, we want you to breed this perfect human being, or this perfect evil monster, there's an alien, blah blah blah, whatever. The case scenario, they could only do in their lifetime, even if they lived up to 100 years, you've got 14 years. So they have a kid at 14 years. It probably takes them about 6 months to have a kid, and then once the kid's born, then you're on another fucking 14-year waiting plan for that kid to be born, and then so you can then have your next batch of thing. And they can only have one kid. They have twins, but they're not like pumping them out like dogs. So even if they are pumping kids out, then you've got 14 years to wait for them to mature, and then to see the results, to then have like, you know, so many kids. And every time you have to wait 6 months for the gestation period. You could, in theory, take if you really want to be fucking cruel and be fucking efficient at it, you wait till you get maturity, take all the fucking eggs, then take ideal samples of males with the semen, and then identify which, you know, breed all the eggs at once, put them in fertilized jars, or you find donor females and get like 100 females, breed all the fucking eggs from this child, breed them in these women, and then decide from there to go, well, we'll select these ones. So even then you could even negate the need to wait for the time period for the child to be a thing. You could just slaughter the fucking child who's really being evil. Let's not go down that far fucking tree. And then you could just select what fucking humans you wanted, and then you just do that process 100 times over, as evil as that is, to just selectively, because this is what we do with dogs. I'm having a really fucking bad time now about this mad fucking thought process. But yeah, thank you again. I am incompetent. But if you do that and you went through that to try to produce a byproduct of, let's say, a human being with certain traits, and you're doing selective breeding in trait behavior to try to produce, that's not really getting you a mutation. That's more a selective trait mutation, which you can do it that way. That's like how you get chickens and pigs and stuff like livestock, and even dogs and stuff. And like you turn there's evidential case of thingy. But even then, when you do that, you're not accounting for behavior traits. You are simply looking at you are simply enough looking at you are simply just looking at physical traits then when you're doing that, to then learn behavioural traits and behaviour traits. You'd have to allow them to develop beyond that of, you know, certain traits which you can only identify from you, because arguably you could try to identify certain traits through genetics. So then you'd only select certain eggs and certain things with those genetic structures. You wouldn't even have to develop them past a certain point, and then you'd identify which ones were female and which ones had certain traits, and then selectively select them out that way, filter them out that way. But there's certain things you can't select that way, because we at this point in time don't have that knowledge, not wasting my knowledge about certain behaviour patterns. We can see certain things in genetics which there is a limited amount of information from that. That's what I find so quite interesting. You could argue that, you know, certain brain structures are going to be more obvious than others from a genetic point of view. You can say, well, oh, these traits have this certain genetic fucking coding, so this is probably blah blah blah. That's the problem with the personality and the behaviour thing. And secondly, behaviour is not so strongly tied to genetics that breeding is going to produce a certain type of person. You're going to have a certain temper, a certain personality trait to a certain degree, and a certain educational. But there's still room for variation in that. There's still room for thinking. And if you've owned a dog, you know about that. Certain dogs have got certain types of personalities. They are more prominent than other personalities. But they're not like clone pitch part thingy, because you know what you call it, environmental factors do change that. That's inherently a factor. So, kind of, the only real advantage of doing that kind of selective breeding, I don't know where I fucking started with this, so kind of going from, my brain's forgot now. This kind of selective breeding process is to kind of get a mutation of a certain, a really not aggressive mutation, but a very dramatic mutation to cause. I was talking about the rich basically being the new species, wasn't I? Is to get to that degree of mutation and breeding. You could do it. It's not beyond the fucking grasp, but it's kind of the question more like, well, what's the benefit of it? What would be the benefit of such a thing? Questionably, you could say greater intelligence, or to mutate to have certain ability which isn't already inherently in nature or inherently gifted to people. Which, yeah, you could argue that could be the case, but of the 8 billion people on Earth, how come we've not got to a state where, at this point, there's not been some dramatic mutation? Maybe there has been and we're not been told about it, but you'd think if that was the case, you'd think if there was such a rapid mutation, what would make a human being like human, superhuman, or something actually thinking. You'd see it more commonly. You do see it with athletes, like physical mutations, like the increase of the hearts and the lungs and stuff. But even then, it's kind of like, well, it's very it's still very there's not really been that massive of a, thank God that doesn't light fire. Games would have taught me otherwise, saying it's very red, you should not be near that. I'm like, yeah, I shouldn't be near that, but I did shoot it, it didn't go boom. But no, it's one of those kind of like, well, but rapid mutation where it really benefits a creature is more in the sense of survival. If you look at like the grey squirrel versus the red squirrel, it's bigger, stronger, faster, so it can gather food more effectively. It breeds more effectively because unfortunately red squirrels are able to mate with, are more easy to able to mate with non-red squirrels with more effectiveness than okay, I'm getting fed up of waiting for the AI being incompetent.
Incendiary!
Yeah, they get it. God. Half my ammo, half my right. But even then, it's like, well, the human base is spreading across the whole world, and then mixing again with one another through into what you call it, international fucking intermixing with one another through international travel and into living in each other's countries again now. But you're not really. It's really hard to say that because it's not something what's been super common, and it's still not that common that people move around and live in different places in the world. It's costly. It's not that practical, and technology does limitate you from a financial point of view. You can't just say, oh, well, I'm going to move to fucking Germany and live in Germany on the fucking toss of a fucking coin. It takes a little bit of organisation and planning. So it's not like super common for mass migration. You do see mass migration through war or something like that, but even then it's still not like mass immigration through, you're not going to see a mass migration of people and then integration into society. That just never goes well. It countlessly never ever does go well. So you don't really see kind of mass melting points mixing together in that sense. So you're not getting this kind of rapid kind of
Alright, I'm on Foxtrot.
outcome of different fucking situations. Ooh, I mean shot at, I don't know where from. Ow. I got shot in the front and the back apparently. Okay, okay. I think you'd had a little bit of a hissy fit there. But no, it's kind of weird in that sense because China has one of the biggest populations on Earth, yet China is like made up of massive amounts of other little countries. It's still all China, but it technically is. It's the same way Europe is made up of a load of fucking countries. It's not all ruled by one person though, but the Earth is made up of it. It's just a fucking blank fucking statement. But because China's such a big place and you've got so many different people living there, and it's like that. I think there's like variables on their own language within their own borders, which is just mad to think about living in a country where you go from one part of this country and then you have another language. They might be like England where like the Scots have their own language, the Welsh have their own language, the Irish have their own language, yet they all speak English but they have the secondary language. That might be the case. I'm not that well educated on China, unfortunately.
Foxtrot's clear. Got it.
But it's kind of one of those really weird and wonderfully interesting things that you've got a country, you've got the country of China, and it is of such.
Hey, enemy!
Ew, that's not good. Yeah, I lost track of him then when he did save me with like instantaneous blow up. Ooh, this is not going well for us. Head popper. No, it's one of those things we've not yet seen it. It's quite fascinating and weird that we haven't, to be honest. Because you'd think the human race would evolve to have more, keep evolving, but we don't. Evolution's not something what happens just because it happens as a byproduct of requirement or from like it. I think the best way to describe it is it's done in the same way that it's not an inventor of new things. It's more of I forgot the word is. I've lost the word on my head. On my head at the moment. I know the word. My brain's decided it doesn't want to know it anymore. Twinkler, I think, or basically somebody who tweaks things minorly and make little minor alterations and kind of doesn't really make new things but just tries to make them work a little bit more efficient, and then when something really does come up and need a problem solving, then they'll make something new to resolve that problem, but only once something like that requires it, not whenever it, not just because kind of thing, you know what I mean? 3, 2, 1. I'm probably not going to get on this in time. Okay, he did the monk thing of let himself in front, not killed it. But no, it's always one of those. It's just one of those things which is kind of like you're not going to see rapid mutation. That's just a byproduct of nature. Nature doesn't really produce rapid mutations very easily. More often than not, when it does, it fucks it up. They blew themselves up. Thanks, game. But hey ho, it is always one of those things which is a little bit on the. Let's look at the servers real quick. Giggle, giggle, giggle. A byproduct of that setup. It's not, you're not going to get this rapid, like instantaneous. I keep repeating myself a lot tonight. thoughts are like, wander off, wander back, wander off. I go around all the fucking trees all the time. A really bad habit of doing it. It's like, and you've answered the question 5 times over. Why? Because your brain doesn't fucking work proper. What's new about that? Nothing really new. Local play. We've done that map. That's the map I started on. It's the other stream started on, but I got rid of it. I'm planning on getting rid of it once the YouTube allows me to get rid of it. I was like, oh, go off, and I'm like, neither and all now. I'm like following fucking thought process. And anyone up here, if anyone actually ever bothered watching this and then puts a comment on the video, I'm gonna be like, what? Oh, I'll have to rewatch it to see what I said, because I was like fucking raving mad as always, and like completely off the fucking plot on like my own brain, going, yeah, I don't really want to pay attention to what he's saying. He's an idiot. Why the hell would I want to listen to this idiot? You're just mad for listening to him anyway. Oh, I can't get a suppressor, can I? Unless I get lighter gear and then go with suppressor. Then I can get a suppressor, and then but then I can't afford to. Let me go with Glock.
Alright, grab your stuff!
But no, it's one of those things with like the evolution of creatures. It's kind of like you don't really see rapid mutation. We've not really seen rapid mutation in nature that much.
Don't be
But
stupid, spread it out!
I think the part of that is because you don't. It was not like with the eyeball. They were like, well, you never see a half eyeball. No, you don't. But it doesn't mean that your body doesn't have like. When you look into the way evolution and mutation works, it's kind of like your body's kind of toying with the idea but isn't actually committed to it sometimes. So it kind of has the ingredients there to make it happen, but doesn't activate the fucking coding to make that happen, because it's a bit like unsure if it wants to risk it, and then if it does risk it, it doesn't always work out to benefit. How much Hancock and thingy paid to make the MP7 OP in nearly every fucking video game. It's not OP, but bloody hell, it's fucking effective in most video games, which is kind of silly because the thing hasn't actually got that big of a caliber. It's got, I think it's got smaller caliber than the P90 and a smaller barrel, and yet is always kind of portrayed as more accurate and more stable and all the rest of it, and yet it has a shorter barrel and
Let's do it!
is kind of like, you know,
Stick together!
a smaller package with just, it always bugs me. Always bugs me in computer games how they do that, because it's like, well, the P90 in real life would be OP. It's like, it would be, but the penetration on the thing is always kind of, I don't know. I don't know if the Yanks aren't allowed the proper fucking penetrating rounds the P90s used in the military as much. I wouldn't be half fucking surprised if that's the case, because like the MP7 has like rounds made by the fucking British aerospace, and they make the round. They're the only place where it makes the rounds for the fucking gun, which is ironically fucking hilarious. And I'm dead again. Not good. But it's just a bit maddening. That really is. The P90 is just so fucking like underrated. I know people are probably going, no, it's not underrated. The P90 is a spray and pray weapon. It's like, well, yeah, but I just wish it wasn't represented in fucking video games that way. I kind of wish it was kind of represented a little bit, kind of a bit more, kind of as if it would be in real life, a bit more of an accurate machine gun with an extended mag with high penetration but low effective damage in some ways, because it's not that it's not portrayed with low penetrating damage. It's always like, well, the MP5 has more damage. It's like, yeah, it has more damage because of the way the round translates the engine. It has more powder, so it technically is more power behind the round, the same way the 7.62 is. But I always find it fucking weird that with games. Going back to another fucking subject again, like we were, I don't know if it's this one or that one. It's one when you do a stream and then you delete the first fucking stream and then do another stream, and then you're like, oh, what was I saying in that stream? What was I saying in that stream? I can't remember. My brain's gone fucking wrong. it isn't recording this information because it's not necessary. The mad ramblings of a lunatic. That was a gas tank. But no, it's one of those kind of things where yeah, I don't know for jolly good. Oh no, don't break the game, don't break the game, Jim. I love how many rounds did he actually take to die then? Probably about 10 rounds to the head and back and chest to kill him with this gun. Fascinating. This is like a level 6 point gun, and yet it's crap in the game. It's like game's like, do you want this? It's so cool, ain't it? Yeah, but it's so like shitty poorly balanced. It's like it's just a shit weapon, which is like, come on, game developers, why did you make this gun to be so crap? Maybe they're like, well, it's more like the realistic version of the real life one, but I'm like, really? Why has it got so low damage? Let's should compare this to the MP5 then. Because that's basically using a 9mm. They are. Let's see. What is it going to give me the information on the caliber, or is it not going to bother? Because I know they for more often than not the MP5 is a 9mm little submachine gun, and because I can't shoot for shit, I'm going to put a Magnum, a little microscope on it. Because actually no, we'll make it a fair competition. We'll put on the. I'm just going to make that for me, but I'm going to put a suppressor on it, so it's using subsonic rounds. So it should be a fair comparison then, where both rounds should be technically using subsonic rounds, which basically means the rounds they're using aren't going as fast as technically a rifle round would be with. For a barrel which isn't being suppressed, which is going supersonic, which makes it crack, makes that big crack bang sound as it breaks the sound barrier. Subsonic basically means it doesn't break the sound barrier. You can make it quiet enough then. But it's kind of to give it a fair comparison. Ooh, got burst on this MP5 as well. Nice. My brain's a little bit scrambled eggs today. Oh, my ears itching. But no, it's kind of a weird and wonderful thing there. I find it fascinating with the flat earth ideology, which is also another weird and wonderful way of thinking. I think people put it down to the idea that people like the idea of the... No. See, that insta like killed him. I'll argue advocate the devil that might have been because it was a headshot. 3, 2, 1, boom! Come on. Got it anyway. There we go. Got subsonic round. But if you go at it as kind of that. Well, that was not fucking surprising. So the recoil's a little bit more manageable on this, which is understandable. It's got less powder behind it. It's gonna have a little bit less aggressive pullback. It's German. It's a twisted bolt system as well, so it's not like a fucking piston-driven nutty thing. But I don't think even. I don't actually know if the thing's a piston-driven one. I imagine it is because it's Russian, but it's got different internals to the AK, so the recoil on it, I don't know how it would behave with the external components. I'm being rackled at the arse. Oh, I got shot in the backside. Somebody want me in the ass, man. They want me up the ass. Don't know why I'm wearing green on the pack, I think it is. But I just am. as I said, I think this MP5 actually does slightly more damage. Let's actually what's the statistics? The caliber's 9. Oh, those were the calibers. The caliber is 9 mils, so it's 9.19. But then we compare that to that, which is 9 by 39. Yeah, it does a lot less damage. Like, why? Why you do so little damage? Why do you do so little damage? 30 black. So that's not even 5.56. That's just blackout. 30 blackout. Kind of curious to have a go with that. Just for a giggle, because the American AR rifle thing, it's like, yet again, I'm surprised it does so much less. I want to know how they calculate the damage for a round in like game sense, because in real life you kind of, what you're taking into account is the behaviour of the bullet, how much surface area hits the flesh of the target, and then the amount of newtons it's hitting with, and how well that translates that into the flesh versus its shearing force, how well it cuts through the flesh, because that's part of the problem with the 5.56. It cuts through them. You know, it's designed to be penetrating, so if it hits flesh, theoretically it can go through and through and do very little actual damage, because it's not hit something with actual bone mass. It's not hit something that can actually do some actual kind of damage, because it's technically not hitting anything that would cause damage. Yeah, that's cool. He died. He died. Ow. I'm rapid to death. So they're putting it out online, let alone on fucking single player with stupid AI.
They need us, come on!
Let's try this blackout rifle then. But no, it is one of those kind of weird and wonderful lovely. Strange things with the calculation of caliber, because you've kind of got to work out, you got your velocity of your round, which is the speed of the round, but you've also got to take into account the weight of the round and how well it holds onto the energy, how well it cuts through the air, as well as how well that energy is then translated into its target. Because you could say, well, the 5.56 is travelling faster than the 7.62, yet it doesn't travel as far because it's not as heavy, so the energy's lost on the round a lot more quicker than that of what's heavier and holds around more weight. So then you've got to account for that weight versus thingy. But then, as I've just stated, then you get different variables of powder. So if a round can be a certain caliber of weight, it can travel. If 7.62 with enough powder behind it, could potentially travel as fast as a 5.56. It might fucking rip the round and make it unstable to fly at that speed. That might be why you never fucking see it done, because fucking the amount of powder you need behind that might be insane. I might be wrong. I don't know much about that side of firearms, but I just find it weird. Like I don't know where gun balance comes into game balance. It's kind of, oh look, this thing pretty much kills everything in one shot. Look, this is balanced. Fucking AR, American fucking rifle. I wonder where these guys are actually based. Get the game developers of these. What the? Please die when I shoot you. Yeah, this I could see worth the points. The Val isn't worth the points you're putting into it. It's a worse gun than the MP7. It's worse than all the other guns. You've put a load of recoil on it and then made it like not that powerful to compensate for the recoil. This has less recoil. Let's try it on full auto. Than the Val has. Yeah, it has less recoil. It's got more wider spread, mind you, but it's got a hell of a lot more recoil to it and a hell of a lot more fucking damage behind it. And then ML has. And then you got the grease gun, the old fucking shit, which, yeah, again, is that? No, it's the same. It's like, how the fuck? Game developers, why? Why did you do this to my gun? Why did you do this to this gun? Why did you do that to the Val? Why did you make the Val like a neutered fucking monster? Now it's just like a little fucking cat going meow. And you're just like, yeah, it's got a bit of a nasty scratch, but that's about it. It's got That's just mind-boggling. It really is mind-boggling. And now I'm getting the hunger I say for food. Oh, it will be because it's like 3 o'clock in the fucking morning, not like 3:45 in the morning, and I'm like, I'm hungry. Yeah, no shit, you'd be hungry, Sherlock. But as I said, I shouldn't be tired because of the amount of deafness I've done. Whoop. Yep, that did the job. But no, it's always one of those things. What kind of intrigues me a little bit is the silliness of it all. The joys of the times we live in. The COVID disease, and yet it seems to be apparently more prevalent in people of the Asian descent. I think Asian's correct. Fuck me, the amount of shit you're not allowed to say nowadays, and the language of the human language of English is ridiculous. With you basically turn the language we use into kind of minefield. You have to constantly took all power of freedom and liberty to say anything, to completely got rid of that and basically say, well, you can only say these things. You can't say anything we don't like you to say, and we don't like you saying anything negative at all. So nothing can be said. So nothing's bad, nothing's wrong in the world because you can't say anything wrong or negative. Are you just trying to RPG me? Son of a bitch. Which is just ridiculous. It really is, because it's just like, wait a minute. Ow. That's bound to happen. Give me a full grip for that. Yeah, that'll do. I've not got the extended mag, which not end of the world. I suppose the recoil on this thing wasn't so bad. I think if they reduced the recoil on it, this thing would be worth the use. Foregrip seems to help a little, but it might also been the start. I don't know. The game's fucking weird. Flick that out, flicking one in. After that one through, blown shit up, lovely lovely. And I got myself pwned. Lovely. But no, it's always one of those things with got that craving for biscuits now.
We're losing Delta, guys!
Any biscuits in, because if there are biscuits in, I will just sit and munch them for fucking hours and it doesn't do me any good. When I shoot him rather than just look at him. Gunner, thank you, Gunner. I was shooting. I'm about running out of ammo here. This is not a good scenario to be in. Oh come on, there's a menu options fixing like the gear and the fucking AI can't cover me. You have a support gun, no excuse. Nah, it's just one of those things with this thing.
Enemy on Delta!
Yeah, I know there's enemy on Delta. I don't know why the friendly who was on Delta is no longer on Delta. Or got killed. Yeah, I'm on it. Thank God. Did I not, or did I not? Shoot him in the head and he's going to spawn out like an hand. Okay. I get you like to pick and choose what actually fucking happened depending on what mood you're in and what level of sympathy you have with the incompetence of the AI. It's like, get in on the point, nope, die, instead, because suddenly the AI is like, you know, fucking sharpshooting Jones when it's against itself, but when it's like shooting on your behalf, it's like, nah. Does look pretty sweet that with when it had like the red front grip, very reminiscent to its AK brethren. But now it's always one of those weird and wonderful things. Get myself some roids and then people will be like, meh. Don't cook. It's like, well, don't cook. Do that, and to be fair, they're pretty much doing you just put that in orbit. Jesus crikey. Have you, no, you're just standing there.
Gonna burn it.
How much you must infuriate the AI.
I'll go down.
Finish shooting the reds and spotting the wall, making some art out of the skulls. Skull matter. Lovely, lovely. Ooh,
We'll get moving.
I'm gonna keep mooching through, man. Mooching through.
Messy motherfuckers. Shit's gonna blow. Get the fuck back.
Wire connected to the speaker cable. All, and there you go. Boom. Make sure it's. The only problem with that design is slightly problematic if the battery goes flat on the actual phone. I'm not entirely sure how it works then, because then I'm like, well, if it's attached to, let's say, the speaker wire for the dial up at the top, so once you go, it then sends a signal up to the speaker to make a noise and dial it. You'd have to technically turn off the speaker, put it on silent mode bar for calls, because as soon as you go in any of the menu options or turn it on, it might potentially make a circuit there, which might make it go blue.
Okay,
I might
let's
be
go.
wrong. Maybe that's not how they wire them fucking things. That's the way I'd approach it on the circuit board. Maybe there's a fucking another way of wiring it up on the circuit board where you wire it up for just to make the circuit for when it's making a dial call, so it can still make beep beep noises and stuff like that without blowing up. I do find it funny when the idea of it making a noise and dialing and you hearing that ringtone of the phone when it goes boom, because technically if it was wired that way you wouldn't even hear that, because unless you had to reach a certain voltage. That seems like you kind of overwire it, over fucking thingy. What you do is you just have it on a relay switch, so it would go beep. You wouldn't even have it wired up to the speaker, it's just wired directly into the phone. And then kind of go from there. People will be like, oh, that seems a bit thingy. It's not so much bomb engineering, that's just switch making. That's the bomb part is a little bit more complex, because you've basically got to figure out chemistry, and chemistry is not my strong suit, unfortunately. I wish it was. The purpose of any chemical reaction is you want a violent one to make a very energy excess fucking results. You need two unstable chemicals and make them mix. But ideally in a bomb form you want them to be stable enough that they only need a very small amount of energy, the same way as carbon and oxygen reacts. They need a little bit of a help along the way, but once they get going they're quite happy to keep their fucking jam going all day long. So you just want to make that on a much violent level, which,
Cool.
yeah.
we need to get over there.
It's clear. I'm
But
on.
as I say, my chemistry is not very good. Most of my chemistry is cheaper here when it comes to that. You don't really teach that stuff to people for a good reason. Not so much a good reason, but as a kind of obvious fucking reason for it, you know. How does that help in a day-to-day making of you can see me, I can't see it. I've actually not seen any of the trucks for a while on this.
Let me load.
Remag the PC, remag. I ain't got on my bad shot. Jeepers. Yep, nothing there, huh? Oh, that was a flashbang, not a grenade, fam.
Assholes!
Right, reload. We've got anything going on there? I hate this command to like open the phone mode.
Jesus!
And I'm now out of completely out of bullets on that weapon. I was gonna RPG him, but I ran out of time. Really pulled this out and then shoot him without killing myself with it. What the? Oh.
Leading objective!
6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Oh, for bloody sakes, game! Why did you get him second in front of me then? Killed the teammate. Yeah, of course I killed the teammate. He literally stepped in front of me as it opened up and purposely put his head in the way. I didn't even think that was even physically possible at the end of the world. Thank you, game. Thank you for covering me, because I really wouldn't have done it. Oh shit. Please don't make me lose this because of this. See, yeah, again, it's just like I will automatically walk in the line of fire. It's like, game developers, why?
Everyone, hey!
But I'm going to end it there because I'm knackered and I'm kind of out of steam. I thought I was before, and I kind of grabbed the tangents of madness, and that was that. So anyway, thank you for watching. If you do watch this, I do apologise if I'm kind of a